Yo, welcome back to KrabsFX. This is episode 8 of backtesting every single day until I'm profitable. So right now we're on August 2023 and we're starting on the 1st. The last month that I backtested right here was a great month, plus 10% profit. And I didn't record all this. Well, I recorded it, but it's in the video before this, so it's not really like I wasn't really talking about what I was doing. But here I was focusing more on liquidity being swept as like the number one most important confluence. And going forward, that's definitely what I'm gonna keep doing because we had a great month here, plus 10%. So that's what I'm gonna do here going forward on August. So we're starting out here on the 1st. This is a Tuesday. And yeah, let's hop right into it. We're using PipLabs to backtest. Link is in description if you want to check them out. This is the backtesting software that I like to use. But yeah, right here I'm just marking up previous day's highs, previous day's lows. Marking up Asia and London highs and lows as well. Here's Asia high. I believe right here is London. Maybe not. Right here we got London high. And let's see, Asia. Not really any significant Asia lows or London lows here. I mean, we do have this London low right here. Alright, so we got marked up our session highs and lows and previous day's highs and lows. So right now I'm gonna skip exactly to my trading time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when the market opens. So let me skip there. Now it's exactly 9:30. And I'm gonna hop on the daily now, try and determine my bias. Looks like software's bugging out here. Hold up, I'm gonna be right back. Hopping on the daily time frame here, looks like we have previous daily candle closing bearish. And we do have a daily gap down here. I'm gonna keep this noted. Daily fair value gap to be filled down here. And on the 4-hour, also bearish, so there's our bias bearish. We have 4-hour closing below. Break a structure here, displacement to the downside. So yeah, I'm gonna mark up that is my bias. Daily and 4-hour both bearish. And here on the 4-hour, looks like we got this 4-hour imbalance here, which price could want to retrace to. And we also have a 4-hour fair value gap right here, which I'm not too worried about, but we're gonna leave it marked up just so that we know that's there. Also down here looks like we got this 4-hour gap. So it looks like price right now is trying to make a correction off of some of this like liquidity void down here on the higher time frame. So we could see a move down to fill all these gaps here on the higher time frames. And especially with this break of structure, this 4-hour candle closing below all this here, we could see a downside move. But yeah, this is a 4-hour fair value gap fill. And then also below that, we also have a 4-hour fair value gap. So yeah, now I'm gonna hop onto the 1-hour time frame. It looks like we have this 1-hour gap here that could be getting filled right now. I'm not gonna mark it up just because I'm not worried about it. I'm not looking at it because I'm more interested in this 4-hour imbalance here. But do we have liquidity swept here to continue down? Not really, we don't. So to have liquidity swept to continue back down, I would need at least this buy side liquidity swept here to make my entry make sense. Because my number one thing that I'm trying to focus on is having liquidity swept, because that's what I did in my best month here. I was focusing the most on having liquidity swept before looking at anything else. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for this month as well, because I found more consistency with that. So yeah, let's see how market opens up here. But yeah, let's see. We do have some nice targets here to the downside. We have this 1-hour gap here. We got, the only thing I don't like about this right now is previous day's low was rated for liquidity. But we do have this bearish 1-hour candle closing below everything here. So I'm not too worried about this previous day's low being rated. And we have 4-hour closing below everything. So this could simply be a retracement to fill this 4-hour imbalance at market open and to sweep this 1-hour buy side liquidity. But yeah, ideally this is the play I want to see. If I get price to give me my entry here, we have liquidity swept number one, then we have 4-hour imbalance fill, which would have been this, and we also have number 3, 4-hour fair value gap tapped into here. And most importantly, we have a fixed bearish bias. 4-hour and daily previous candles both closed bearish, so I'm looking for shorts only. But yeah, let's see if we can get our entry here at market open at 9:30 a.m. But price could also just react off this 1-hour gap, and if it does, that's okay because we don't have liquidity swept, so I'm not looking for an entry off of that. I'd rather wait for my safer entry up here. But yeah, let's just see what happens here. We're going to speed this up just a little bit. Looks like price reacted off that 1-hour gap. Looks like also we have some news here. Let's see. Forgot to pull up the news, but let's see what we got. We are in August 1st. ISM services, JOLTS job opening. So we do have a little bit of news at 10 a.m. But I'm not too worried about it, especially if we can get my entry that I want here. So 10 a.m. now, the news is hitting. Looks like we just filled this 1-hour gap and melted down. But we did have bias correct. I just didn't want to take this entry here off the 1-hour gap because we didn't really have any liquidity swept. Even on the 15-minute, there was no liquidity swept here. So yeah, that's the main reason I did not want anything here for shorts. So yeah, most likely a no entry day unless we can get back up here, which we are doing. Let's see. We just need that liquidity swept and we could enter. See if we could push up there just a little bit more. And boom, there's our entry right there. Let's see what this news came out is. News came out lower than forecasted, just by a little bit, by about like 0.5. But yeah, this news should give me nice volume. But let's see if I can get my reaction off this gap here. So I'm gonna run a 30-point stop right above this gap, and targeting a 1 to 2, which target is also these lows down here. But yeah, confluences here, we have bias bearish, previous 4 hour, previous daily closing bearish. We have buy side liquidity rated, and we have 4 hour imbalance filled and 4 hour fair value gap tapped into. So we're gonna enter our shorts here at market. And we're gonna see how this plays out. W or loss doesn't even matter because we followed our rules here, and this is a valid setup to me. But yeah, see how this plays out. We could also want to fill this 4 hour gap here. Oh wait, didn't mean to move that, but price could want to fill this whole 4 hour gap and then continue down. But I don't want to wait that long for that entry because we have liquidity swept here, so I'm expecting a reaction to the downside. And if we can push down to 1-to-1 RR, I'm looking to put my stops to break even. Right here we formed a 1 hour imbalance. Price could target right here, this level, which it filled right there. And let's see if we could push 1-to-1 RR, move our stops to break even. And also, what this backtesting software does is it helps you with your patience while the candles are actually moving. You can see P&L, so you can get used to all that, all those numbers moving. Like say you're upping your risk, you could go in and backtest using your higher risk just so that you're used to all of your like P&L going up and down with bigger numbers. Okay, let's see if we can push here 1-to-1, and boom, we hit our 1-to-1 RR right here. 1-to-1 hit. We're going to be moving stops to break even here, making this a risk-free trade. So yeah, let's see how this plays out. It's either break even or take profit here. We're going to speed this up now just because I don't want to wait. But yeah, we definitely got the reaction off that buy side being swept for liquidity and this 4 hour gap being tapped into. Still live here. Somehow didn't get tapped. Entries like right here. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna get hit break even here. And let's see, maybe not. Still live here. Let's see if we could get that push. Nice. We just need a little bit more. And that's break even trade right there. Valid setup. We got the reaction we were expecting. Just couldn't push all the way to my TP. But here are our entry confirmations. Number one being 1 hour buy side liquidity raid, which was this liquidity up here. We had number 2, fixed bearish bias, meaning the previous 4-hour and the previous daily candle both closed bearish, so I was looking for my shorts. Number 3 here, we had 4-hour imbalance, fill plus 4-hour, we had a 4-hour imbalance fill here, plus 4-hour fair value gap tapped into. But yeah, that's the trade here, break even. But yeah, that's some notes on the trade. So I'm going to throw this into the journal here. Rules followed, yes. Risk was 1% here. Setup, this was, I'm actually about to update this, 1 sec. So yeah, here are my setups here. So this was my A+ setup. Bias plus liquidity rate plus higher time frame for value gap / imbalance fill. And that was A+ setup. And here's my other setup, bias plus false break previous days highs / low. That's the B+ setup, just has a little bit less confirmation. But yeah, stop loss size here was 30 points. That's pretty much the only stop loss size that I'm using, so I'm gonna throw in our screenshot here. Throw in some more notes here. And let's throw in our screenshot. Points here was 0 points in net P&L. This was a break even, so 0. This was a short, followed daily bias. Bias was fully bearish. Actually, we're gonna update this as well. Fixed. By fixed, what I mean is both the daily and 4-hour candle both closed bearish. And mixed means that one of them is different from the other. For example, like 4-hour bearish and daily bullish. That would be a mixed bullish, because I always want to focus more on the daily time frame, because that's going to tell me more. 10 a.m. entry here, and we're on to the next day now, on to Wednesday. 1 break even first to start off this month, which break evens are still wins because you didn't actually lose anything. But yeah, we're going to skip over here to the second here, Wednesday, and let's mark up the previous day. Looks like price melted overnight. Let's see, do we have any news? August 2nd, 8:15 a.m. Not really anything crazy. Just one red folder at 8:15. Didn't really do anything, so we still have this 4-hour gap here that did not get fully filled. And let me just mark up previous day here. Looks like this gap got fully filled here on the 4-hour. So I'm gonna get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of the 4-hour imbalance. So here we had previous day's low liquidity was rated already, but we closed below. Asia high, I believe something like Yeah, right here actually, 1800. Previous day's high we got up here, which is this right here. Asia high, or this should say Asia low. Don't really need it because there's not a significant one, but yeah, it looks like we still got this daily fair value gap down here. And yeah, we're gonna skip over to our time window, 9:30 a.m. Boom, right there. And let's see what we can do here when market opens. Firstly, I'm gonna check my bias. Daily's bearish, 4 hours bullish, so my bias here is mixed bearish. But based off this daily time frame, I'm expecting that we're gonna continue price back down, possibly to retrace this liquidity void down here, which is basically just a ton of fair value gaps on the lower time frames. If we scroll out here, we got a ton of price action here that we're looking to fill, and I'm expecting that the rest of this week we could possibly reach down here and retrace, but it looks like we're also targeting this daily gap. So I'm gonna just highlight this in orange just so that I remember that this is a pretty strong drawn liquidity, so price could want to draw towards there. But yeah, let me just check what's going on here. On the daily, looks like we don't have any gaps there. Looks good. 4 hour, no gaps up here, nothing down here. 1 hour, do we have liquidity swept to the downside? Not yet, but if we sweep these highs right here, this is some buy side liquidity. These are some pre-market highs, 1 hour highs. Got some buy side there, and we got this 1 hour fair value gap right here. So looking at this, based on the 4 hour here, we do have a bullish closure, but I'm still expecting that we want to go all the way down here to fill all these gaps. But yeah, it looks like we filled in these gaps. Spelled this wrong. But yeah, based on this, my setup here, even though we are playing around the previous day's lows here, if we can see price tap into this 1 hour gap, sweeping this buy side liquidity, it would make sense to me to continue price back down, maybe target these lows, or if this 1 hour gap doesn't get filled, that could also be a target right here. Would be a 1 hour fair value gap fill. But yeah, this is the ideal setup I'm looking for. Let me just draw up equilibrium, and I use the fib here and there just to see where we are in the market. If we're in a premium or a discount, you can draw up the fib from previous day's highs to previous day's low. But yeah, so we would be under the 50%. But yeah, if you want to see my fib settings, there they are. If you want a screenshot, pretty much all that I look at pretty much is the 50% from the previous day, just to see where we're at. Anything below the 50% could be looking to continue the trend, but yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna get rid of this on the screen because it's not too significant here. But yeah, let's see how market opens here. It's exactly 9:30 a.m. See if we can sweep these highs and continue down. Looks like we filled this 1 hour fair value gap here. Price opened 1 hour no top wick, so it's pretty high probability that price could want to wick around here and then flip, make this top wick here on the 1 hour, and while it's making this top wick, could sweep this buy side liquidity and it could tap my 1 hour gap, which then I'll have my entry to continue price back down. But yeah, let's just see if we can get this top wick here made on the 1 hour, and let's watch here. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. We don't really have any news here. No news. And looks like we couldn't make a top wick. We don't have liquidity swept, so I'm not really looking to take anything here. This may be a no trade day for me. We do have this 1 hour imbalance here, but we don't have my liquidity sweep, so I'm not really looking to take anything. On the 15-minute, nothing was really swept here. I mean, we do have these 15-minute highs, but that's not enough confirmation for me. But yeah, here's a no trade day. Didn't get our setup. Price did follow my bias though, bearish. But yeah, I'm gonna journal this here. No entry. And on to the next day now, which is Thursday here. But yeah, on to the next day here, Thursday. Let's see if we got any news. We got 10 a.m. ISM services PMI unemployment claims at 8:30 a.m. Not the biggest news. I mean, PMI, we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully get a trade before that. But yeah, let's see. Skip over. Pretty unfortunate here. We couldn't sweep this buy side and tap into my gap before this move happened, but it's all good. Bias was correct. But yeah, on to the next day here. We're skipping over to 9 a.m. here. And marking out previous day just like before. Still got this buy side up here. Still got this 1 hour gap. Previous day's high is right here. This area right here. Got some buy side sitting up here. Let me skip exactly to 9 a.m. here, or 9:30 a.m. There we go, market open. And yeah, looks like we got some buy side sitting up here, some liquidity built up. And looks like we actually filled this daily fair value gap. So my longer term perspective bias and drawn liquidity here was correct to fill this daily fair value gap, which we saw got filled very nicely. Unfortunately here we didn't have our entry. I wanted price to just pull up, or wait, was this yesterday? Yeah, right here. I wanted price to just pull up, sweep this a little bit of buy side liquidity here, fill my gap, or not fill it, tap into my 1 hour gap, and then continue down. But we did not get my entry. Would have been an amazing move here, targeting this daily fair value gap that just got filled here, so we're gonna get rid of that. But yeah, looking at this, we got previous day's low was already swept here, but we kept closing below previous day's low here, so I'm not really looking for an upside move here. Previous day was very bearish here, predicting daily candle is closed bearish, which it is, but looks like we left behind this daily imbalance right here, which we could want to see price retrace to and fill before continuing back down. Looks like we're playing in this daily fair value gap as well. The fill of that gap is down here, and also we got this daily gap down here, which we'll have marked up. And yeah, daily's bearish like this, closing below all of this sell side liquidity, closed below, and I'm looking for this to continue all the way down to fill this daily gap all the way down here, and then I could see price continuing up, or at least I see price filling this gap right here before continuing back up, because we're long term in an uptrend, but short term here I'm looking bearish on the daily. Let's see 4 hour here, bullish closure, but we got engulfing bearish candles, but yeah, I'm still bearish here. So same bias as the day before, mixed bearish. We got daily being previous candle closed bearish and 4 hour previous candle closed bullish, so that makes our bias mixed bearish, but I rely more on the daily candle for my bias. So all this daily momentum, I'm looking to continue it, especially with this daily close below this liquidity here. But yeah, 4 hour also closing below everything here, so I'm looking to fill these voids here, these liquidity voids. But yeah, on the 4 hour, do I see anything? I see this 4 hour gap here. I'll actually make this a different color so that I don't confuse myself with the daily gap. But yeah, this daily gap's yellow just because that's pretty much my target, like higher time frame. But yeah, here on the 4 hour, just see this gap right here, and also see a 4 hour gap right here left behind in price. This is actually a nice gap because I see I marked up some buy side liquidity. Can't spell here, but yeah, hopping down to the 1 hour. Actually, let's see, what is this? Another 4 hour gap, but we're not worried about that if price pushes up. But yeah, ideally here, this is a nice spot, honestly. Got buy side liquidity here, 4 hour gap here. Market open, we could see a retracement to fill this 4 hour gap before continuing back down. Target is this 4 hour gap, this liquidity below here, and longer or higher time frame, this daily fair value gap. But yeah, let's see what happens when market opens. And yeah, looking to sweep this buy side liquidity, fill this 4 hour gap. I'd like to see it filled fully. And yeah, let's see, what would stops be here? Yeah, 30-point stops above this high. I do like this setup a lot. Number one here would be liquidity raid on buy side liquidity. Let's see, is this an Asia low? Nah, or Asia high, I mean. Actually, we do already have London low swept right here. I didn't mark that up. Where's my, I think I might have deleted it. Yeah, I deleted my London line. Let me throw that in because I didn't mark up my session highs and lows. But right here we got Asia high up here, and we got London high, which was already swept. right here. London high was pretty much at 3 to 5 a.m. here, so we swept London high. Honestly, looking at this now that we have this London high swept, we grabbed our liquidity. We could want to fill this 1 hour imbalance and continue price down. Yeah, so this is going to be our play here off this 1 hour imbalance. Now that I see that we grabbed liquidity already off this London high here at 6 a.m., we could look to retrace, fill the 1 hour gap, and boom, continue down, following our bias, targeting this daily gap, higher time frame, and this 4 hour gap. But yeah, let's see what happens right now when market opens. We're at exactly 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and yeah, let's watch. Right now, I'm gonna set my order up so that I get triggered. But yeah, sell limit order right here on this 1 hour imbalance fill. Right there. Stops will be 30 points above the candle that made the imbalance. And let's see if there's something on the lower time frame protecting us. We do have this 15-minute high protecting us. So yeah, I do like this setup a lot. Sell limit, boom. Let's see if we can get triggered here. And 30 point stops, targeting 1 to 2. But yeah, let's see what price wants to do here. Market open. Looks like we can get filled here. Come on, there's no way. Almost got filled, but not yet. I want to see this 1 hour gap filled all the way before rejecting. There we go. Now we're triggered. Let's see if we can continue price back down. Bearish buys here on the daily. Liquidity was rated already. 1 hour imbalance retraced to, looking to continue price down. But yeah, W or L trade here, it doesn't matter. Followed our rules. Liquidity swept. Bias followed. And that looks like that's a trade. But let's see if this other setup here would work. I'm not going to take it. I'm just watching though. I'll go short right here. Buy side liquidity swept. This would be the second option. The one I had first. But yeah, let's see if this one will play out. And I'm going to speed this up. Not taking this one, but I just want to see. Yeah, so it looked like that one would play out better. What would stops here be? Yeah, so that was the better play. It did look a little bit safer, if I'm being honest, because we would have swept this buy side liquidity, filled this 4 hour gap, and then continued down. But I just wanted to take the riskier entry here because we already had, well, I wouldn't really say riskier, just the closer entry to where price is, because we swept London high here for liquidity, formed the 1 hour imbalance, traded back into it, and boom. I was expecting price to continue down, but we wanted to grab some more buy side liquidity here, fill this 4 hour gap, and then continue down. But yeah, we're gonna mark this up here. Entry confirmations here was number 1 was liquidity raid of London high at 6 a.m. Number 2 was bias bear daily. Followed number 3 was 1 hour imbalance filled. So that's pretty much the notes on this trade. We're gonna throw this into our journal. column there, throw in our screenshot, and rules followed, yes. Risk is always 1% for this backtesting, and this was this bias, liquidity raid, higher time frame, imbalance fill. So that was the setup. Minus 1% here, minus 30 points. And short, follow daily bias, yes. Bias, mixed bearish. Entry time was like 9:30 a.m. But yeah, in this video, we're gonna backtest this entire month and get all the data on that. But yeah, on to the next day, Friday here, the 4th, last day of the week. So far on the week, minus 1%. We're gonna see what is good on Friday here. It's pretty unfortunate that we couldn't get the reaction right away. We wanted to grab buy side first before continuing down, but I did like this setup due to the London high being rated for liquidity first here at 6 a.m. But yeah, it looks like market open wanted to grab some more liquidity before making the move. So this would have been the like ideal play here, but I took this one here. But yeah, that's that. On to the next. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's skip over now. So this 4-hour gap's filled. Gonna get rid of that. Let's just see if price draws towards this daily gap still and this 4-hour gap. But yeah, let's hop over to the next day now. And it looks like we just reversed. But yeah, next day here is the 4th. News, we do have no news I'm worried about during my time. Only had news an hour before, so not worried about news there. But yeah, let's skip here to my trading time. 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is the time that I am backtesting here. The first hour of NYSE, New York Stock Exchange market open. But yeah, right here, let's just mark up everything. We got a Asia high right here. Previous day's high as well. So I'm gonna just get rid of the Asia high. Mark up previous day's high, which was swept for liquidity, and we got a move down off of it. London high is, I'm assuming this. Yeah, London high is this high right here. Previous day's low down here. This low right here. And let's see what else. Where's the Asia low here? Right here's Asia low, was also swept. As you can see, we got a reaction off that Asia low already. So this is why I love the session highs and lows and previous days highs and lows. When they get swept for liquidity, there's often nice reactions off them. And it's a great confluence. But yeah, let's hop over here. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna check our bias here. On the daily, looks like we're still bearish, but we have this daily fair value gap up here still. Hour here, looks like we got a gap right here. no other gaps here on the 4 hour that I'm looking at. Just this 4 hour gap up there. And 4 hours also previous candle closed bearish and previous daily closed bearish. So our bias here is fixed bearish. But yeah, let's hop down to the 1 hour. So yeah, 4 hour, we just have this fair value gap to be filled right here. We don't have any lower gaps here. We do have this one all the way down here, which I have marked out. On the 1 hour here, looks like we have a 1 hour imbalance right here, which price could want to draw towards right here and fill this gap right here. So I'm gonna mark this up with 1 hour imbalance. This actually does look a lot better full screen. I'm not sure how I even did that. But yeah. Looking here, where am I looking for setups? We're fully bearish. Looks like we already took out previous day's high. Honestly, for me to get a setup here, I want to see this London high rated for liquidity. All the way up here, I want to see price. What I'm predicting price is going to do, I think price is going to open up, fill this 1 hour imbalance, maybe flip, sweep this London high, maybe fill our 4 hour gap, and then continue down. So my entry here is going to be off this 4 hour gap being filled, above this London high getting swept. And yeah, it looks like we also have 1 hour fair value gap here. But yeah, that looks like that's going to be my setup. Here we got Asia low raid. But yeah, let's see how price opens up. We're going to skip this a little bit faster. And boom, looks like London high was rated right here. I'm going to wait on price to fill my 4 hour gap here. Going to set my sell limit order right here. .30 stop targeting a 1 to 2, which the target here is also this 1 hour gap, which is still unfilled. But yeah, this is the setup here. Sell limit, risking 1%. Enter that in. Let's see if price can get us in here. But yeah, let's see what happens here. If we can get filled. And we're in right there. So confluences here. Number 1, liquidity rated. London high was swept here. Number 2, 4 hour time frame. Fair value gap was filled here. Boom, 1 to 1 hit. Moving stop loss to break even here. And reaching down for this 1 hour gap right here. We exited our 1 to 2. Max TP would be down here, 1 to 3 at this 1 hour gap. Let's see if that would also play out. But for this data, I already secured my 1 to 2 RR. Let's see right here. Where does it show? 1 to 2 was hit there. But I just want to see, yeah, so my 1 to 3 here would get hit. This was an amazing setup. Look at that entry on the wick here. This wick entry was due to having London high swept for liquidity, number 1. Number 2, we had 4 hour fair value gap filled, which is a higher time frame gap. And as you can see, I had my Let's hop on the 4 hour here. Actually, this was a little bit like right there to be exact. I had my sell limit just a little bit below the 4 hour gap being filled, because sometimes it won't reach exactly into it like it did here, as you can see. Boom, just almost like fully filled it, but you can set your orders like a little bit below it because it won't always fully get filled. And if I wanted to take a riskier entry, that would be off this 1 hour gap. It wouldn't be riskier, I would just have to hold a little bit more drawdown. But here is a 0 drawdown trade. This was my A+ setup here, and price is still pushing down, which is nice to see. But all I wanted was seeing this 1 hour gap being filled right here, and all that I needed was my 1 to 2 out of this. But yeah, this was a A+ trade. I'm gonna mark up my confirmations here. Number 1 was London high liquidity raid. Number 2 was bias fixed bearish. So that's how I knew price would continue down. Number 3 here, we got, what else we got? This 4 hour plus 1 hour fair value gap fill. And that's all I needed to enter this trade. The most important things were actually all 3 of these, if I'm being real. But yeah, London low, a session high and low was rated. My bias was fixed bearish based on the 4 hour and daily candles, both closing bearish previously. And I had 4 hour and a 1 hour fair value gap being filled. But yeah, let's throw this into the journal and move on to the next trade. But yeah, especially in my last back testing, the last month that I tested, I was focusing a lot more on liquidity being swept, as I noted here, as my most important key confluence. Because if I wasn't looking at liquidity being swept, I could have easily entered off of, I didn't have any here, but I could have entered off like a random fair value gap and then gotten stopped out. But knowing now that I need to focus on making sure that liquidity is first swept, like right here we got 1 hour highs up here, equal highs, plus this is the 4 a.m., which is London sessions high, which is a high probability area to have a reaction off of. We had that swept for liquidity, and then we had price fill a higher time frame for value gap, which I like to use the 1 hour, 4 hour, and the daily. And I didn't note this here, but the number 1 most important thing before all this is the time. And time and price are the most important things. That's what I've learned over my trading. But yeah, bias, liquidity rate, higher time frame gap, and hit 1 to 2 here. We went short here, followed daily bias, fixed bearish bias here, right at market open. So on that week, plus 1%. On to the next week, starting on Monday here. Let's see what we can do. On the 7th, let's see, do we have any news? Wait 1 second, I'm gonna grab my coffee. Alright, so skipped over here to the next day on the 7th here. Let's see, no news here, no news Monday. Could be a little bit slower of a day because of that, but yeah, right here we got previous day's low. We got Asia low, I'm guessing, let's see. Actually, Asia low should be right here at 1800. We're on New York time here, double check that. London high here, let's see, yeah, right here. This 3 a.m. high, that's the London high. Let's get rid of this. Actually, Gotta clean up my chart a little bit. Right here we got previous day's high up here. And looks like we still have some stuff here on the higher time frame. Got some gaps down here, got 4-hour gap here. Daily gaps down here. Could be targeting them possibly, but let's see. Based on the previous day, looks like we're more bearish, had some bearish displacement here. But on the daily, we closed bullish. So based on that, I'm targeting higher time frame gaps. Looks like this is my target. Go mark that out as a different color. The colored lines are basically where I think price is drawing towards on the higher time frame. So with the previous daily candle closing bullish, I'm predicting price is going to push up to fill this daily gap up there. But on the 4-hour here, we closed bearish. And let's see, do we have any daily gaps I missed? Not really, we just got these right here. On the 4-hour here, do we have anything? We do have this 4-hour gap right here. Let's make this like a something more neutral, but yeah, 4-hour gap right here. And that's pretty much all I see there on the 4-hour. We still got this 4-hour gap. See, I'm gonna keep this one blue. Not that it matters, but keep it organized. But yeah, hopping down to the 1-hour. Looks like, do we have liquidity swept? We do have, where was London? Right here, 5 a.m. This was the London low right here at 3 a.m. So it looks like we already grabbed liquidity from the downside from this London low right here. So you can see at 4 a.m. here, this was the low of London. And we grabbed liquidity off of that. It looks like we also bounced off of this 4-hour fair value gap. And now we could be wanting to continue up. Let's skip exactly to 9:30 a.m. here. And if we could leave this gap open, that would be very nice right now. And perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to see. Now right here, we have a 1-hour imbalance. And this is where I'm going to be looking for my trade off of. Right when market opens, right off this 1-hour imbalance, looking to target these highs. Let's see how many points. Yeah, target is London highs here, but we also have a target of these highs up here and the previous day's high. But yeah, right here, my confluences. If I get into a trade. Hold up first, let me. We're a mixed bullish bias here. But yeah, my confluences, if I enter a trade here, are going to be number one, London low was swept for liquidity, meaning that orders were filled here. And I'm looking for the retracement here at market open at 9:30 a.m. into this 1-hour imbalance, to then continue price back up, targeting these London highs and also targeting this previous day's high up here. But yeah, let's see how market opens here, and let's see if we can get a little push down first. Yeah, I didn't want to see the London highs ran just yet, but see if we can get our entry here, and boom, that's our entry. what is this? 8 a.m. low. Yeah, so I'm gonna just take my entry off of that. We have this 1 hour imbalance filled, and I'm looking to take price back up. Stop loss below these lows here at 30 points. That's a stop loss I like to have. I'm not a fan of this London high being swept like that, but we do have the London low swept. But honestly, if I'm looking at this, we do have a safer opportunity down here. But we're just going to keep an eye on that because price may not want to get all the way back down there. But yeah, this is going to be our trade. We're going to enter here. Buy at market here. Right when this 1 hour imbalance was filled. And we're expecting to continue price back up following our bullish bias based on the daily candle previously closing bullish. But yeah, that's the setup. I'm going to throw in my confirmations here. Number one was, actually I'm going to just start playing this. But yeah, number one entry confirmation was, we had London low. I can't spell. London low liquidity raid. At what time? At 6 a.m. here. Number two, we have our mixed bullish bias, and we're following our daily bias here. Number three here, we had a 1 hour imbalance fill. So yeah, those are my confirmations, and let's let this play. We're having nice reaction off the 1 hour gap right there, and boom, stop loss to break even here. We hit our 1-to-1, and we're now risk free. So it's either break even or take profit here, and let's see if we can survive. Break even here. But yeah, that's the trade. Hit our 1-to-1. Move stops to break even. And it is a good break even because we would have been stopped here most likely. But yeah, now I'm going to just watch and see if we get reaction off this 1 hour gap. Because this would be also sweeping all of this sell side liquidity. So I just want to watch this here. Yeah, so that looks like it's giving a reaction. Let's see if it hits 600 points. And almost. So here I would be, if I took a re-entry here, I would be break even. So let's see. Yeah, re-entry will get break evened if I took a re-entry, but that did give a nice reaction off that 1 hour gap. But yeah, break even trade here. Gonna mark this up. Had a nice reaction off the 1 hour gap, but we could still be targeting up higher. Asia low was almost swept here, but not exactly. But yeah, what I had here was London low liquidity swept at 6 a.m. Mixed bullish bias, so I was following my bullish bias on the daily. We're going to throw this into the journal here as another break even here. Market open bias here was mixed bullish. Follow daily bias. Yes, we went long. This was a bias plus liquidity raid plus imbalance fill. Rules followed. Yes, screenshot. Let's throw that in. And my entry confirmations are right here. So let's throw this in. Entry confirmations was mixed bullish bias. We had daily bullish 4 hour bearish. We had London low liquidity swept at 6 a.m. here, like I said before. And then we have price retrace into a 1 hour imbalance where I took my long. But yeah, on to the next day here. We're gonna get rid of all this. These gaps were filled, so I can get rid of them. But yeah, let's skip over to the next day now, which is, I believe, Tuesday. Yeah, and that's the 8th. Let's see if there's any news. FOMC member speaks, not worried about this, at 8:15 a.m. So yeah, let's skip over. Drag these out. 9 a.m. But yeah, let's see if we can catch anything here. And skip exactly to my trading time, 9:30 a.m. Now let's mark up previous day's high, previous day's low, which will be previous day's high right here and previous day's low right here, which previous day's low was swept, and we did have a reaction off of it already, as you can see, low reaction here. But yeah, London low is this 5 a.m. low right there. London high right here at 4 a.m. Asia low was not really relevant here, but it is this low here. Yeah, so it's not really relevant. I'm gonna just get rid of it. But previous day's high is also the Asia high up here. But yeah, now same thing as before. I'm gonna hop on our daily time frame, determine bias, previous daily candle closing bullish. Looks like we still got this daily gap up there. We still got this 4-hour gap, and we still got these gaps here in price. But yeah, previous day's low was rated, so we could see an upside move. Same bias again, mixed bullish. Previous daily closing bullish, previous 4-hour closing bearish here. Looks like we have a 4-hour imbalance right here. Which we could see get filled. And we got a 4-hour gap right here. Let's make this the same color, like a blue. But yeah, hopping down back to the 1 hour, looks like we have a 1 hour gap left behind right here. But yeah, very nice reaction off this previous day's low that happened before market opened at 8 a.m. We had that move up. But let's see, where could I look for setup here? Looking for only longs. I don't see much. Hopping down to the 15, I also don't see anything, so most likely here no trade day. Even if we sweep these lows, like for me to get a setup here, I would need, I would say even like this. That's pretty risky though, because stops would have to be too big. So yeah, most likely no setups here. Might be a no trade day, but yeah, let's see. Market's opening. Skip through this a little bit faster because I don't really see anything. But yeah, it looks like we're melting. I mean, if we fill the daily gap, would look for a long off of that. But 10 a.m. here. Yeah, so if we can fill this daily gap, I'll take my long off of there, because then we would have swept all these lows here, all this liquidity swept. And daily fair value gap being filled, that's a pretty high time frame gap, so I'm expecting a nice reaction off of that. We do also have this daily gap below it, which we gotta keep an eye on, but yeah, I'm expecting a reaction off this gap if I can get a move off of it. It's 10 a.m. here now. Also, we left behind a 1 hour imbalance right here. So if we could fill this 4 hour, or not this 4 hour, if we can fill this daily gap down here, we could target this 1 hour imbalance as the TP, and that would give more than enough, more than we need. So yeah, let's see if we can get our entry here. Price could just reject off this 4 hour gap now, but when we're this close to the daily gap, I would rather just wait on it. But yeah, let's see if we can get entry before 11. Let's speed this up a little bit. And it looks like we're not gonna have an entry before 11. Let's see, could still get an entry, but and now it's outside of our trading window, but let's watch it. So I can't take this because it's at 11 now, but yeah, let's just watch and see if this would play out. We wouldn't get filled yet. So we wouldn't have even gotten filled there, so no trade here on the day. We're gonna mark this up that this was the no trade day. But yeah, no trade days, all good. But yeah, on to Wednesday here, the 9th. This is a news day. Let's see. Not really any news. We got some bond auctions, 1 p.m. at 1:01 p.m. Not sure why it couldn't just be 1 p.m., but yeah, orange folder, not worried about that at all. But yeah, let's skip over to the next day here. It looks like this would have been a good move if we filled the daily gap, which we didn't though, but bias here was correct. Saw a bullish move. I mean, we did get a little bit of a sell-off, but there was no entry, so. But yeah, skipping over to the 9th. Exactly 9:30 a.m. right here. Looks like we filled this 1 hour gap. Still got this gap up here. Let's mark out previous day. Boom, right there. Looks like previous day's low is down here. This 4 hour gap was filled, so we're gonna get rid of that. Previous day's high is right here, which is also this 4-hour gap. Good to know. If we can see these highs get swept, could possibly see a bearish move. Let's see what daily is telling us. Yeah, so daily's bearish. Previous daily candle closed bearish, and I'm looking to target this daily gap still, these daily gaps down here. But yeah, daily's closing bearish, telling us that we could see a continuation of that, and previous 4-hour is also bearish. So our bias here is fixed bearish. So there's our bias. Hopping on the daily, do I see any significant gaps? I mean, this is a big daily gap here. Just have that marked out just in case. Looks like we almost filled this daily gap, and that's pretty much all on the daily. On the 4-hour here, we still have this 4-hour gap up there, and not much else I see. I mean, was this filled right here? Yeah, we filled in this 4-hour gap here. Hopping down to the 1-hour. Let me just clean this up a little bit. But yeah, hopping down to the 1-hour. What am I looking at here? Mostly, I'm looking at this previous data high here. If we can sweep that at market open, fill this 4-hour gap, I'm looking to take price all the way down here to this daily gap and previous day's low. That's a nice target, nice draw on liquidity, and we can fill in this little liquidity void here. But yeah, I'm gonna mark out these 1-hour gaps, see how price reacts around them. Mark them out orange. But yeah, got those marked out. This one actually looks like it's filled. But yeah, this is the 1-hour gap I got right there. And right now it's market open, so let's just watch if we can fill in this 4-hour gap. To get a move down. But yeah, let's see. This would be a very nice setup if we can get this. Fixed bearish bias, daily's bearish, 4 hours bearish, closures. And here we would also have these equal highs swept for liquidity, which is also previous day's highs, which is an amazing area to be at for shorts. And we have this 4-hour gap right here. So yeah, let's see what market does. I want to see market push up here, but looks like we're just melting here. So bias was correct, but no entry here. Looks like we inversed this 1-hour gap, and this could be another no trade day. We don't have liquidity swept. Let's check the 15. We really don't have liquidity swept. I mean, we do have this here at 3 a.m. London Open, but yeah, we didn't really have the highs I wanted, which is previous day's highs swept. But yeah, we're looking to fill these daily gaps right here, as I said before. But yeah, 11 o'clock here, no trade day, didn't have an entry. No entry, but bias played. Good bias though. We saw those daily gaps get filled, just like I predicted. But yeah, on to the next day, Thursday here, the 10th. And let's see what we got. Hopefully some news. Yeah, we got some CPI here. So I'm expecting a more volatile day, which is what I like. But yeah, this is 8:30 a.m. so nothing really affects me here. But yeah, let's just skip over here. Now we got this daily gap filled. I'm gonna get rid of that. But yeah, let's skip over here to the 10th. Let's go exactly to 9 a.m. right here. Gonna move our vertical lines that separate my time of day. Boom, here we got previous day's high right there. Still got this 4-hour gap. Looks like this daily gap was filled, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Previous day's low down here. 1-hour gap is no longer valid. London high. London high right here was swept for liquidity. But yeah, I'm gonna skip exactly to 9:30 a.m. And boom, 9:30 a.m. here. Right there. London low, right. I'm expecting it to be, yeah, this low here, I believe, 3 a.m. Yeah. Let's see the Asia, what happened during Asia session. Got Asia low right here. Let's see if we got Asia high. Not really a significant Asia high, so I'm not gonna write one. But yeah, it looks like right here we got a 1-hour imbalance. I see right away. Price could be drawing towards this. But based on the higher time frame, we are still bearish. So I'm looking for my sells. Up here, looks like we got this daily gap still. Right here, I don't see much on the daily. Looks like down here. Did we fully fill this gap? We did not. We didn't fully fill it. We almost filled it, but we're gonna mark this out. Price could still want to draw down there because we didn't fully fill it 100%. But yeah, let's hop on the 4-hour here. 4-hour is also bearish, so our bias here is fixed bearish. But yeah, let's see what we could be looking at here on the 4-hour. We have a 4-hour gap right here. Could see a reaction off of that. But what do I see here? This London low is also near this 4-hour fair value gap. And that's pretty much all that I see on the 4-hour for right now. Hopping back to the 1-hour. Looks like this 4-hour gap is also a 1-hour gap. So we're gonna have that there. But based on this, let's see, where could we get an entry? I mean, let's see, this is 15-minute liquidity. I just want to make sure that my liquidity sweep is valid. Looks like we did sweep London high here, but we closed above it. If we can fill this 4-hour gap and the 1-hour gap before we fill this 1-hour imbalance, I'll take an entry off of that using this London high liquidity sweep and bounce off of here to fill this 1-hour imbalance. Would be a nice setup. Hopefully we don't just push down right away and fill this 1-hour imbalance right away off of market open, which definitely could happen, but let's see what happens here. Yeah, so it looks like we just filled that 1-hour imbalance. So let's see here. The safest entry here would be to wait on this previous day's high to get swept and have this 4-hour imbalance filled, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen during my time window. So the best entry here would just be off this 4-hour gap. But the thing that I don't like is this London high liquidity was swept. Yes, it was swept at 8 a.m. but we closed above it. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. But 4 hours bearish here. Daily's bearish. Yeah, so riding this daily momentum, I mean, that looks like the setup that I want to take and put risk on. But yeah, right here, this would be filling the 4-hour gap, and boom, continue price back down. So yeah, that's gonna be our play here. I'm gonna set my order right here, and if we can get filled here, 30-point stop loss as usual. Target my 1 at 2. Set a sell limit here. Right there, target 1 to 2 RR. And boom, let's see if we can get filled. But yeah, here we got London high liquidity raid. We also have fully bearish bias. Daily and 4-hour are both bearish. Let's see if we can fill our gap right here. We might reject right now, but I'm gonna be patient here. Let's skip faster. Looks like we filled our gap there and stopped out right there. Looks like price did wanna come up to my previous day's highs right here, which was the safer entry, and then continue down. So it looks like price wanted to sweep these highs, tap into the 4-hour gap, and then continue down. Yeah, so that was the better entry right there. That would have given me my 1 to 2 instead of my entry here. Didn't have a good liquidity sweep. So yeah, that's the trade here. I'm gonna screenshot it, journal it, and move on to the next day. But yeah, the reason for losing there was I wasn't patient enough and I didn't have a good liquidity sweep. Right here was the best entry. Previous day's high, 4-hour fair value gap right here. But the thing is, yeah, it would be at 10 a.m., which is still good, but yeah, that's the L. Throw my entry confirmations there. We had London high raid liquidity, but close. My other entry idea was valid if I waited on the previous day's highs to get read on liquidity and 4-hour fair value gap tap into, then my idea would play out. But yeah, London high read, I had a 4-hour fair value gap fill, and then I had bias fix bearish. But yeah, issue here, why I lost was I didn't have a good liquidity sweep. So yeah, we're gonna throw this into the journal and move on to the next day. Followed our rules, but we did have a mid liquidity sweep. I'll mark that. Something that I'm noticing is that when we have sweeps like this, sweep of the London high, but we close above them, it's not the best confluence because of that closure above, that breakage structure. And it's definitely safer to wait for something like this previous day's high, 4-hour fair value gap, boom, take it down. But yeah, I should have waited for that, but yeah, that's something that I gotta journal and move on. So yeah, here's the trade. Setup here was this. Followed bias, yes, fixed bearish. Another reason why I liked that was because we were fixed bearish bias. So I was just expecting price to continue our bias here after filling this gap here and sweeping London highs. But we did close above London highs, so it wasn't the best liquidity sweep. But yeah, this was at market open. And now we're on to Friday the 11th here. We'll skip over. Get rid of all this. And let's see what happens. Gonna get rid of this stuff. Clean up my chart a little bit. But yeah, let's skip over to the 11th. Let's see, do we have news? 10 a.m. news. Gonna keep that in mind. PPI at 8:30 a.m. Mark up previous day's low here. Looks like we filled that daily gap now. Previous day's low right here. Swept. Asia low was right here. Not significant though, so I'm gonna get rid of it. London low here. Not significant too because we have previous day's low swept. London high, I believe right here maybe. Not London high up here at 3 a.m. And it looks like we still have this 4-hour gap up here. Previous day's high is now moved to there. But yeah, this here looks like Asia high at 22 p.m. Asia high. Or not 2 p.m. I didn't mean to say that. But yeah. Asia high up there. And let's see if we have an imbalance left behind right at market open. Looks like we do have this 1-hour imbalance here. Closed below previous day's low, so I'm not really counting that as a sweep, or not as like a solid sweep, but it could still be a sweep. But yeah, let's hop on the daily time frame here. I'm predicting that we're also bearish because of yesterday, but let's see how we close. We closed bullish, but a very like bearish bullish closure. But yeah, let's see what we got on the daily. Nothing on the daily until all the way down here. But daily's bullish here. Looks like 4-hour bearish. Looks like we got a 4-hour gap here. Here we also got a 4-hour gap to fill. Right there. And hopping back on the 1 hour, we still got this 4-hour gap here also. which price has been respecting. We bounced off of it here. But yeah, hopping down to the 1 hour. Got this 1 hour imbalance here. And let's scroll left. See what's good here on the 1 hour. Don't see much right now. We do have 1 hour. Was this filled? That was filled, yeah. So yeah, nothing to the left on the 1 hour. Just this 4 hour gap down here. But yeah, what am I looking at here? I need a good liquidity sweep. That's the only issue here about taking the short off this 1 hour imbalance. And we're also at previous day's low. But yeah, based on the daily bullish closure, four hours bearish, but daily's bullish. So our bias mixed bullish, even though this is a weak bullish closure. It looks like we're not even gonna have an entry here for buys, but let's see. Because the only entry would be like all the way off this 4 hour. This would be pretty much the only entry, but then we don't really have the best liquidity sweep for that. So yeah, let's see if this 1 hour imbalance gets filled. But yeah, it looks like we don't have any entry here for buys. So we filled that 1 hour imbalance, rejected it. And pushing down. Yeah, so this was a bearish play here, but we didn't have good liquidity sweep. Very nice move off that. Off this 1 hour imbalance fill. But based on daily buys here, I'm looking for buys. And we're at previous day's lows, but we closed below them. But yeah, no entry here. Let's mark this down. And let's move on to Monday here. But yeah, on to the next day here, the 14th. Skip over there. See, do we have news? No news Monday again. But yeah, let's skip over. $9 a.m. right here. Skip exactly to market open. Same thing as before. Gonna mark out my previous day's highs, previous day's lows. And right here, previous day's low. Let's just get rid of this. Still got this 4 hour gap here, 4 hour gap fill. 1 hour imbalance. We can get rid of that, clean up my chart a little bit. Here we got London high at 3 a.m. Asia high here is not significant. We closed above. But previous day's high is right here. Let's see what price does at market open. Let's check our, actually, let's first check daily bullish closure. Not much on the daily again. But daily's bullish, 4 hours bearish. So yeah, mixed bullish bias. Based on 4 hour, I don't see much here. Just this 4 hour gap down there. On the 1 hour. Don't see much other than previous day's lows here. And do we have some type of gap on the 1 hour? We do not. Yeah, no lower time frame gaps on the 1 hour. But if we can sweep this previous day's low and fill this 4 hour gap, I'll look for my longs off of that. But it is a pretty far area, if I'm being honest. Right here we got a 1 hour imbalance that could want to get filled, but especially if we could push down no top wick here all the way down, fill this 4 hour gap, sweep this previous day's low, sweep this liquidity here, this sell side liquidity, that would be a very nice trade. But it is very far away to get down here, so let's just watch. 1 hour imbalance filled here, 10 a.m. Looks like we're not gonna have a trade, but we are looking a little bit bullish here. 10 a.m. So yeah, no trade day here. Let's mark this up. And but bias was correct. But yeah, let's just mark that up, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this backtesting session. Went a little bit over again. We're at 1 hour and 42 minutes right now. But yeah, bias here was mixed bullish. But yeah, no entries here. Break even so far on the month. But yeah, gonna wrap it up there. Took a break even, L, win, break even. No entries and an L. But yeah, got through some good back testing here. And yeah, this was episode 8 of back testing, 1 hour per day until I'm profitable. We went up a little bit, but thank you guys for the love. Here we got 800 views, 600 views, 400 views. Looks like you guys love these videos a lot more than these prop firm ones. But yeah, I'm gonna keep making both of these, the prop firm journey and the back testing 1 hour per day. But yeah, we're slowly growing. We're at 67 subscribers here. If you guys aren't yet in my Discord, make sure to hop in there and join the team. It's 100% free, by the way, guys. But yeah, I sent out my trades for today. This was my trade on the prop account. I almost had my entry here, but then NAS melted. I got stopped out and had a re-entry at the bottom. But yeah, I'll be breaking that down in the prop firm video. But yeah, we're growing in the community here as well. We got about, let's see how many members. We got about 314 members. We're gonna be locking up this community soon, so make sure to join up while you still can. We're doing live trading in here every day at 9:20 a.m. I couldn't live trade in here the past few days because I was very busy. But yeah, we're trying to get live trading in here going. And yeah, got some study resources in here that you guys could learn from. The number one best thing, I believe, is this 2022 ICT mentorship. This teaches you a lot about smart money concepts or ICT style trading. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Episode 8 of backtesting, 1 hour per day until I'm profitable. Got some good data here, but break even so far. But we're not losing. That's what's important. We're break even here. But yeah, until next time, thank you guys for watching. KrabsFX is out. And yeah, until next time, peace. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that. Peace.